in 2020 when actor Will Smith walked on stage and slapped comedian Chris Rock. On the news, we hear about reports of police shooting at mentally ill people. And has anyone here experienced road rage? I have. Okay. And my road rage experience happened a couple of years ago while I was driving on the expressway to Iowa for work, and I was in the right lane of a 2 lanes heading west just past Aurora, Illinois. There was a large truck going slower, so I decided to pass the truck by going into the left lane. I'm comfortable driving about 5 miles over the speed limit when passing a truck. Then what seemed like all of a sudden, I looked in my rearview mirror and saw a car behind me, on my tail. Then this car started blowing his horn. I had no idea what he wanted me to do or where he wanted me to go at this point, so I continued at my speed, passed the truck, and went into the right lane in front of the truck. The car behind me was driven by a white male. He proceeded to pass the truck, then pass my car, and pulled in front of me in the right lane and slowed down. I'm thinking, what are you doing? Are you trying to play a game, some sort of game with me or something? This car seemed to be in a hurry, and now he's driving slowly right in front of me, at a speed slower than what I had been driving when we were in the left lane together. At one point, I was able to pass him, and then he caught up to me and got in front of me again and slowed down. I was really concerned he was going to stop suddenly and we would be in an accident. So I drove slowly until he passed an exit that I could take, and he continued going on the expressway. I took the exit, I stopped to get coffee, I took some time to rest. Then I got back on the expressway thinking, well, that's over with. Only to find out he pulled over and was waiting for me. That's when I decided there's something really wrong with this person. I took pictures of his car and license plate. Then while his car was in front of me again, I exited one of the Oasis exits, because I thought there's more people around the Oasis and it might be safer for me. While at the Oasis and parked, I called 911, told the police what happened, and gave the information on this person's car. Fortunately, I did not see him again. To this day, I'm scratching my head and thinking, what was that all about? Many people across the country are thinking about what's wrong with other people's impulse control. One of the mightiest emotions that we have inside us is our anger. We feel intense anger when we feel something is horribly wrong or something unjust is done to us. According to the Gallup Global Emotions Report, yes, I guess there is a Gallup Global Emotions Report, anger around the world has been rising since 2016, and that's even before the pandemic, with 23% of respondents now feeling angry on any given day. Another statistic, additionally, according to new research from the Institute of Customer Service, 60% of customer service workers have experienced hostility in the past year. Nearly half of those who faced abuse said callers were becoming more aggressive because of stock issues and staff shortages. We may feel anger at having been treated badly or unfairly by others. Our anger may be a reaction to difficult experiences in our daily life, or things from our past, or in the current world around us. Why do we feel angry? We really need to look at why we feel angry. Is it because we feel attacked, powerless, embarrassed, or scared? We need a better way to cope with these emotions. It's not about being less angry, but about controlling our anger and even potentially using it to create goodness. Whether this is achieved through creativity, activism, or even improving our interpersonal relationships. One of the useful tools they give is knowing what the 3 R's are for anger management. Recognize the situation you're in, retreat, take a step back, and relax. Breathe, ground yourself, something like that. Because when we feel angry, it helps us to do breathing exercises or progressive muscle relaxation or meditation. Also, regular physical activity also helps us to manage stress levels. You know, I know a lot of us here are on a spiritual path, and I really think that anger is rarely discussed in spiritual communities. And if it is, it's usually about letting go, like let it go, that's all. And moving on from old wounds. The message is clear: anger has no place in spirituality. And in order to ascend spiritually, you must let go of those dark feelings. There is certainly some truth in this message, but it doesn't show us the full picture. Spirituality isn't easy, straightforward, nor fluffy. We must begin to see this feeling of anger for what it is, the much-needed release of emotions that have been repressed for far too long, the eruption of words unspoken, needs unmet, hurts unhealed, and feelings unprocessed. Possibly years and years worth, many of which we never even have taken the time to acknowledge, much less manage or begin to heal. And anger can be incredibly healing, but not when it is about placing the blame on others. Some people think this deep-seated anger doesn't have anything to do with other people at all. Repressing our anger or taking it out on other people is like putting a bandage on a wound that goes deep into the body. It ignores the true, raw need in favor of a solution that is temporary and shallow. Spiritual anger is about showing us our inner wounds that need to be healed, our personal boundaries that need to be reinforced, and the ways that we can show up and do better for ourselves. We don't always get to choose how we feel, but we always get to choose how we respond to those feelings. Instead of losing control, retaliating, saying things we will likely regret later, or shutting down, can we react in another way? Can we sit with those feelings of anger and listen to them? Can we have an honest discussion with ourselves? Can we practice compassion for ourselves and for the other person? Can we define better boundaries? Can we remove ourselves from the situation? Can we simply let that emotion go? By learning to recognize, accept, and listen to the truth of our anger, perhaps we can also learn to manage our emotions as they rise, rather than burying them and allowing them to erupt later. The take-home message for today is, allow our anger to be the spark that empowers us, rather than the one that burns us.